We play for keeps, Cuddy. You ain't heard about the huddle fire with no with D-Lane. We tryna get it off the muscle. Walters caught the pick and ran it back without a tussle. Blow the whistle, coach is trying to get back to the huddle.
Yo, 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 yo. Welcome to the 510 Huddle Podcast. It's your boy, Coach D Lane, in the building today with my guy, my brother, Keaton McCoy. And we just had the regular, I almost said regular season, but we had the NFL season finale, Super Bowl. My Eagles take a tough L, man. Tough L. 35-38 to the Kansas City Chiefs. Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes get their second ring in 5 years.
Mhm. Second
Man,
and fourth, really.
4, yeah. 5 straight conference championships, been to 3 Super Bowls, won 2 of them. That's a crazy run right there. But let me get a few of your takeaways from the game, brother. Big picture takeaways.
And I would say in the big picture, it kind of played out the way that I thought. One thing that I will say is that I was wrong. I questioned Jalen Hurts' shoulder, particularly because the last few games I have seen him throw. He has not looked great, but he looked great. That shoulder looked healthy enough. So that was fantastic. That was the best game I've ever seen him play from college to pros. That was his best game. So kudos to him. I would say that that pass rush that everyone kept telling me about, they're really good. But as I kept trying to bring up, that Chiefs offensive line is different from what it's been in years past. And this is one point that I wanted to bring up, just in like a big picture point. Whenever I bring up the words big people, I'm not a huge Orlando Brown fan, as like I've said multiple times now. But one thing that does pay off, no matter how I feel about him as an overall left tackle, is when you're just a behemoth of a human being and you're that large, even if you're not the most skilled or the most athletic tackle or at any position really, if you're just that big and that strong and nobody can get around you, that pays dividends. That pass rush for the Eagles in large part was pretty non-existent, not only from the offensive line. I would say I would say they had a majority to do with it, but also, like I keep saying, Patrick is a master at avoiding pressure. The defense as a whole, you guys struggled with motion all year long, and as we saw on those last few red zone trips, it showed up. Unfortunately, the Chiefs' run game was there. The Eagles' run game outside of Jalen Hurts for called quarterback runs or scrambling was pretty non-existent. So that hurt you guys also. I also just wanted to give a shout out to Andy and Eric Bieniemy for their overall game plan and their adjustments because they were fantastic. And also, Mahomes is just amazing. He had the ball for I think 23 or 24 minutes total, and he put up 31 points. That is insane. I hope people understand like how hard that really is, especially when you're trailing and you come back and you win. That is insane. But overall, Eagles, you guys' defense, I think overall it showed the
He
lack
got
of
he
quarterback.
got a short field on one of them on that special teams in the
He
second.
did, but
Yeah.
still, and also the Chiefs defense. That's another thing. In key situations, they forced field goals and they forced a three and out, and that was huge. And overall, Mahomes is amazing. The Chiefs are awesome, and the AFC is in trouble for the next couple of years because this is not ending anytime soon.
Man, I think my guy Sherm said it best. I was listening to Richard Sherman podcast, and he said, man, like, doesn't really more so feel like, somebody got cheated. And I won't really say that, but it did feel like the game is incomplete. Like you just wanted to see Jalen get at least one more possession or, get a chance to respond similar to last year with Pat and Josh Allen. You just wanted to see Pat get a chance or Josh Allen get a chance to get the ball back, right? I felt like that was the same situation here. To be honest, I felt like we was in control of the ball game. Like especially early, we came out and did what we wanted to do. They really couldn't stop us really all day. Like you said, defense forced us in the key situations of third and longs. We really had a few penalties. Jalen Hurts I was shocked. We had like 2 third and mediums where we ended up taking a clock violation or whatever. Time play clock ran out on us. That backed us up a couple of times. I think we still converted one of those. But and then the other one, we'll get to it right now. You know, just big moments, key moments in the game. It was another third down. It may have been a fourth down, but it was a third down, brother. The Devontae Smith catch, and that goes to what you said as far as taking 3 instead of 7. I believe we may have cashed 7 if that was a catch to me, bro. I'm gonna keep it 1. Replays after seeing replays of the Niner one, I thought that wasn't a catch. I was like, okay, all the way. This was more of a catch than that Niner one, if you ask me personally. Like, I think this was one of those ones where they should have seen it up top and changed the call. I don't know, man. That was my feeling on that one. How'd you feel about that catch in that moment? Because you were right. Like you said, we took 3, but I feel like we could have got 7. That man.
I said it wasn't a catch just because of the new rules with the catch rules, with him losing control as he hit the ground.
Yeah, so I thought he recontrolled the ball as he hit the ground. They said his feet wasn't in. I thought he had a toe still in when he repossessed the ball.
If they ruled that one a catch, it wouldn't have bothered me. I thought that was more of a catch than what Dallas Goedert's was, honestly.
No, brother. No, that's the one I'm confusing. That toe drag for Goddard. Goddard repossessed the ball, repossessed it, and that toe was barely dragging. I'm telling you, brother, that was a catch. It was close, though. It was real close. Both of them was close, man. So what about Devontae? You don't agree that was more of a catch versus the Niners one?
Well, it was more, but I still think the end result was what it was, honestly.
Yeah. But that one hurt, man, because that was going into the halftime. Instead of being up 10, maybe we're up 14. So that really hurt. And then red zone, man. We talked about it earlier, brother. That's why, to be honest, we could talk about this too, but I really think Jalen played a better game than Pat. Although Pat didn't have really the ball the whole game, and Pat had moments. I thought if we're talking complete game, I think Jalen had a better game than Patrick Mahomes. Because, like I said, we were really in control. Besides, he had a fluke-ass turnover. I said it when it happened. I was like, man, that's rare. He hasn't had that all year as far as a case of or a tendency of turning the ball over. And when he did that, I was just like, we can survive with one. If we have another one, man, it was going to be real ugly. In the way he responded, he showed me a lot. I told you earlier on the phone, all year and last year, I've always liked Jalen, never could really love him. It was 2 points in this game where I fell in love with him, and I'm like, man, that's our guy. I need to sign him long term. It was the very next possession after he fumbled the ball. He did a few runs on that play, on that drive, wasn't scared, made a few nice throws, wasn't scared, cashed a 7. And then when we got down 7 late in the ball game, 35-7, how he just took the ball and drove right now to score again. He showed a lot of resolve for me in those 2 moments.
I don't think he played better than Pat just because he had the ball way more. I also think he's also a product of people not having that high of expectations for him. So I think that's what adds to it also. But he played a great game. Like I said, Pat was master. Pat had 1 incompletion in the second half, and that was a throwaway.
Brother, that's fine. But Hurts arguably has the best throws throughout this game. Like the 2 he threw to Goddard knocked me off my seat. Especially
they were great, but I think that's part and partial expectations for him.
That's great. No, that would be a great throw for anybody.
People don't have the same expectations.
That's a routine throw for Pat. But when Pat does the routine, we still say that's a great throw. That we would have said that's a great throw if Pat would have made.
I think most people are bored of Patrick now. It's not. It's not
casuals.
The casuals are bored of Patrick now.
Maybe the casuals, they get fatigued, man. People get fatigued with greatness. I don't know what that is, man. Same thing with Giannis and Joker. It's the same thing with Giannis and Joker for the MVP and NBA. Like, they're not gonna give it to those 2 guys no more. Like, you feel me? LeBron, he had a fatigue. Yeah, you feel me? So that America's lazy.
And again,
We got a lot of lazy people.
31 points in 24 minutes. That's something a lot of human beings just can't do.
Was defense got him 7. His defense got him 7. Yeah.
Well, no.
Yeah, he scored 31. Yeah. Yep. And they got 38. Yeah.
That's just. But anyways, we're picking nits. Honestly, that was.
Well,
that
hey,
was
if we are nitpicking, look at his touchdowns too, wide open. That's coaching. You could have made that throw, both of them. The one that Tony and the Sky won.
But okay, but again, his 3 rushing touchdowns. I mean, they're on the goal line and it's a scrum. So we also could have done that.
And look at the 2-point conversion. The 2-point conversion was tough. I thought he was gonna get stopped. I think you letting your Pat fandom go. I'm not even. I just said it on air how I fell in love with. Today. Honestly, I thought he played a better game than
people don't appreciate him the way that they should. People really don't.
His
scrambles and his way of just avoiding pressure, like those little things, the things that people always gave Brady that extra credit for, he did. And now people don't give a fuck.
You know why, brother? And I like I said, it's more, we're talking about the casuals. But even for guys that know football like us, it's the fact that what he's doing it so early. You feel me? Like,
yeah, that's
paid in time. No, it is. And I'm not knocking them. I'm just saying, like, all that shit materialized over time. They got better over time. Fucking Tom will even tell you, straight game manager, his first Super Bowls. The shit is just the fact that he's doing it so early and so young. Yeah, man. We're gonna talk about him in a moment. But let me finish.
Jalen played amazing, and he played way better than, even if he came in fully healthy, he played way better than I ever thought that he could.
And for a fact, even though he made some great throws, I said it early in the game, brother. Hey, Jalen got some whip to his arm. He was making some great throws. We already seen it reported. My guy Lane already went to surgery. I've been waiting on the report all day for Jalen to have surgery because on that last throw on that Hail Mary, I knew. I was like, yeah, his arm's done.
I think it just slipped.
Oh, you think? I thought it looked like he gave it all he got. Oh, it probably just slipped out. Okay, it looked like he gave it all he got.
It's just his footing because that field was awful.
Hey, and now I was gonna say that about my boy Reddick too, man. Reddick was slipping a lot. I'm not gonna knock the pass pro because Wiley and Brown, they was doing their thing. Pat didn't get touched, but my boy was slipping a lot, man. I clearly the field wasn't. I'm not about to make excuses about the field, though. I'm not about to be that guy. Hold on, and I'm not trying to be that guy about the ref either. I don't know. Have we talked about the penalty yet?
No, I mean
we can go there. I'm not gonna be that. Yeah,
it just sucks.
Yeah, I'm not going to be that guy about the penalty either, man. As far as like, it hurts. He definitely pulled the guy. I just felt like it wasn't, at the end of the day, I feel like it wasn't egregious.
It wasn't the way fans wanted it to end.
That too. And then what made shit worse for me this morning is when Orlowski said fucking, they didn't call no holding the whole game. So I'm like, fuck, that's the one that you going to call? Like, that just hurts even more. But
like I said on the phone last night, on that first half one with Juju, when Bradbury interfered with, Juju went straight to the ref and he said, hey, watch him next time. Watch him.
Yeah, man.
And unfortunately, in the big moment and on that same whip routes that they were running that were in the red zone, when they were getting burned, the refs were looking to make sure that there was not a hold. And that's kind of the way that it fell, unfortunately, for them.
Yeah, man, and just terrible technique, bad technique from Slay too earlier in the game from the same action. Same thing with Bradbury. Man, that one hurt. That one really hurt, and what makes matters worse is it really was an uncatchable ball. That's what really made me livid, bro. Like I was like, I could see if he had. I really didn't feel like that little nug or pull did not detract him from being able to catch that ball, man. That ball was uncatchable.
If it was an interference call, then it would have been picked up, but unfortunately, it was a holding call. So you're not going to pick that one up, unfortunately.
Yeah, man. Like my last point on moments in the game, and then we can kind of talk about Pat real quick. Big Red, it's not even close, man. Because I've seen it for years with my Eagles. I think he had a crazy record, like
he did
16-2 or something like that off the box. It was something crazy. He's by far the best coach off a bye in the history of football, man. Like the shit that he comes up with, man. Oh my God, like I said, that was all film study, seeing what we were doing to get versus the motion. Like I said, I didn't really see too much of that throughout the year. I'm gonna have to go back and watch some moments this year. I remember it definitely being a problem for the linebackers and their eyes and their reads. I don't really remember too many big plays given up in the pass game from motions, but we were beatable. We were torchable for sure. At moments this season defensively, I'm gonna get to that in a little second. From our coordinator perspective, but man, it was tough, man. It was tough. I'm still hurt.
And also,
I'm still trying to wrap my head around this loss, man. I'm hurt.
And also, in large part, the defense wasn't used to going up against a player of that. Well, I mean, nobody is. But you get what I mean, like a quarterback.
You can't prepare for a guy like that.
It's just especially in the NFC where just off the top of my head, I think 7 of the top 10 quarterbacks are in the AFC right now, and you guys have one of the top 10 guys that's in the NFC. So, and I think one of the other 2 guys that would probably be top 10 guys that are in the NFC. One of them didn't play much this year in Stafford, so y'all didn't play him. And Rodgers, he put up 30-something points on y'all too. So that's it's a tough lesson unfortunately to learn in the biggest game of the year.
Gotcha. Well, let's talk about both teams. Moving forward. And what we think, like what should be their angle in the draft. Like I said, man, both teams, the Chiefs were very young, starting multiple rookies.
7 rookies.
Yeah, my Eagles were set up pretty nicely, got a lot of draft capital still, got a little wiggle room with the cap right now, about to pay Jalen, but Howie's a master with the cap, so I'm not really stressing or worried about that. But what's the next steps here for the Chiefs?
Chiefs, I would say draft, they have to keep going in probably for defensive linemen, particularly on the edge. I think they still need to get better there. I like Karlaftis, as I told you before the year, but he's more of a hustle guy who will clean up things. He's not really a guy at this point that'll just create on his own. They need more than Chris Jones to pretty much
They need explosiveness on the edge, right? Like I like Karlaftis, but it's not like super explosive, right?
Yeah, he's just a hustler. Frank Clark's a really good player, but he's not consistent enough. I think he'd be more of a guy that you'd want as like your second or third rusher, more so than like your first one at this point. So I think edge would definitely be one. You can still invest in premium positions, especially at like receiver.
Yeah, I was gonna say I was shocked that was the first one you brought up, but I agree with the defense too.
Yeah, I mean, for me, as long as Pat has a credible offensive line and he has it's not even receiver, because I actually like third young guys.
And I was just about to ask you that. For me, I'm not still all the way sold on Sky Moore, so I thought your position would probably change because you probably still a fan of Sky Moore.
I do like Sky Moore, and I do like Kadarius Toney. Patrick will help elevate them. They need another tight end, I think. Kelsey he's not showing any slippage necessarily.
I thought Watson and Gray was cool. I like Watson and Gray.
Well, they are, but just from the perspective of, I don't know if they're special. I do think for what that offense is, especially in the West Coast offense, and not just for Patrick Mahomes, but just in the West Coast offense principles, it's usually receiver and tight end, and you can make do with the guys that they have that are on the outside. I do think tight end is an underrated one for them. Just have somebody ready for the future, because Kelsey is getting up there in age.
No, not. How old is he? Let me see.
I think 34.
And it's crazy because this guy's the point I was gonna make. He's younger than Kelsey, but I was gonna say Kelsey's kind of hitting that Zach Ertz territory, like how he was with my Eagles those last 2 to 3 years. And you seen when they drafted Dallas Goedert, and I was saying that to say KC might have to go draft a Dallas Goedert. You feel me? Like a young, talented tight end to groom up under and behind Travis. For me, yeah, like I said, brother, we talked about rookie receivers all year. Guys came and went. a guy that came early from you was the kid from the Packers. Then he left for a quick second. He came on strong, finished real good. Watson, yeah. I never got that feeling from Sky Moore all year, brother. Even though I know he's working. I mean, at the end of the day, number 2 was still. I mean, they kind of gave it to Juju, but number 2 to 3 was still wide open all year. So I know it was a pecking order. Clearly, Kelce was number 1, but it was room for you to make noise to grow into option 2 or 3 is what I'm saying. Any of those guys, Hardman, MVS, any of them, you feel me? And none of them really solidified that. So what I'm saying is I do think they need to get a guy on the outside that's explosive. And like they need a guy like MVS if MVS was just a little bigger and was more reliable catching the football.
I just don't think they can't use it. It's just
not that they need it because they, it's Pat and Andy.
That's not the point. Like I would say need is edge would be an edge rusher and then tight end at the end of the day. But edge rusher is number 1 for sure. Eagles for me, I just want to see what some of those offensive linemen do. There were rumors about Lane Johnson possibly retiring. I don't think he will, but
yeah, I think he's coming back. It's Kelce.
Kelce, he tried to retire last year. He sounded like he really wants to come back, but I would still invest in the offensive line just for like the future purposes, because you can never have enough big guys. And
I'm like 90. I'm like 95% sure Lane will come back, brother. I'm more like 50-50 on Kelce though, because I want my boy back though.
Off offensive line, corner. I'd say those would be the 2. I would say those would be like the 2 areas for you guys, basically.
Yeah, man. So for me, I would actually it's two positions, or I would love to go back in the trenches, just to beef that up, because like I said, either we losing at least one, but we losing probably multiple guys from both sides of the football in the trenches from age, either Fletch, BG, one of them probably gonna be gone, and then like I said, Lane, I expect Lane to be back, but it's very good possibility that Travis may be gone. Jason Kelce. I love Landon Dickerson though. I think that's going to be our next. Oh, yeah. But we still need to draft O-line. I think it's always good to keep getting better at what you are investing, what you're already good at. So that's why I will also love to attack the D-line as well. Add another pass rusher. Probably not more beef, but because we got Jordan Davis who needs to get more burn next year. But probably adding another pass rusher just to keep making that depth deeper. And then not really corner for me, brother. If we can bring back Bradbury on a cheap contract, I'm cool with that.
I think he's going to command a penny, dude.
Yeah, shit, probably not. What the fuck? Yeah, his ass just put on tape.
And but he's also 30, turning 31. Yeah. I would just when you have
like I said, I'll pay him something cool. Like if he coming back on the if he come back on a cheaper deal, I would love to bring him back. I love Maddox. The reason why I said that is because I want to draft a safety, man. We still need a safety where I feel like we can get a safety. We can move CJ where he's comfortable.
Yeah, you guys got to sign him. That's your number 1 free agent.
Yeah, he should come back. He should coming back. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I want to bring CJ back, move him up a little bit, like damn near play with him and Maddox on both sides of the nickel, since we damn near run only 1 backer, 2 backers anyway, 5 linemen down front. But I want another guy back there with Marcus Epps, man. Like guys started attacking Reed Blankenship, 32. He was fucking terrible in coverage. Good, solid young player, but he just couldn't cover. And then my last point for my Eagles, though, brother, we need to get rid of both coordinators. I'm sorry. For me personally, that was too much talent on that defense for it to be as torturable as it was, bro. I'm going to keep it 1. I thought we had more talent than a lot of teams that performed better than us on defense in certain areas. And I've never been a fan of Gannon's scheme, man. He's very conservative. Like I said, I really wasn't, even though we were pretty good at it, just because we had the guys that can do it. So I wasn't mad at it, but I wasn't a fan of the 5 linemen down front. Like I felt like as soon as you get past the first level, it's cookies. It's like you can have a field day running on this once you get past the front line. Yeah, so just too vanilla and conservative from Gannon defensively. Wasn't a fan of him. Didn't heat it up enough with the blitz and mix it up enough for me. Second half adjustments was always poor, and he doesn't put his best defensive guys in the best position to succeed. Offensively, I like Shane Steichen. I really, really did. Took a big step, helped Jalen. I believe if we lose both, I believe Gannon will be an outside hire. I'm hoping. They said it may be an inside hire for both, our DB coach and the quarterback coach. I'm hoping it's an outside hire. I wanted Fangio, but he's gone. Vic Fangio, he's gone. So I want an outside hire for defensive coordinator, offensive coordinator. I wouldn't mind if they elevate my guy Brian Johnson. He's been working with Jalen Hurts, our quarterbacks coach, for a while now. I think they got a great relationship. And at the end of the day, Sirianni had a say. I'm pretty sure he had at least 50% of input this season. Like, a lot of people kept trying to whiz kid Shane Steichen, and he took over last year at some point. I didn't really see a problem with Sirianni's play calling last year when he had full duties. Besides, I just thought he was trying to get a little too pass happy and knew Jalen wasn't there yet, but he was still trying to test it out. But we was too pass happy last year.
I mean, the offensive coordinator benefited from getting AJ Brown, and I'll leave it at that.
Well, and that as well. And I think he was just too vanilla, though. Like, as far as the same shit over and over until somebody would stop it. And then his second half adjustments all year, we were bad in the second half. So that didn't shock me how it played out in the Super Bowl as well. But yeah, man, just like, I don't know if we need a more experienced guy, you know, to be in that brain trust and that offensive meeting with Sirianni. But I definitely think we need 2 new coordinators, brother, because it was just too much talent not to. We're supposed to get over them. Oh my God, I'm still pissed thinking about that game. Go ahead.
Well, I want to move on to something else, where number 15 is in the big picture of NFL lore. He's a very, I mean, look, what he's done. This is just a fact. He has done more than Aaron Rodgers and Brett Favre did in over 30 years in Green Bay, between the two of them.
That's a fact.
And he, individual and team success, he's on a list of 3 other guys. And those 3 guys are Brady, Montana, and Manning. And when it comes to multiple Super Bowl MVPs too, the list is him, Montana, and Brady. And he's 27 years old, and this is his 5th year starting. I'm a NFL historian. I get what people say about Johnny Unitas and Bart Starr, and they mean a whole lot to the game, but in Elway, I love John Elway. When I've seen clips and classic games of Elway, I see a lot of Mahomes in Elway, honestly. He, for me, is one of the 4 best players in the history of the game at that position right now.
Oh, you better than, I mean, shit, I did better than you. I thought you was going to go higher than that. I got him at 2. I got him at 2.
Here's the thing, but this is what I wanted to say.
You know, I'm big on resume, brother. That's why I couldn't put him ahead of Brady yet, but I got him. I think he's at 2, man. I'm not gonna lie.
But this is what I was gonna say. Out of all of those guys, like, because my top 5 are those 4 guys and John Elway. Those are my 5. All of them at their best. I'm taking them number 15.
For sure.
I'm taking 15. What he's done and what he. I just really hope people understand like what they're seeing, and not just from him, but just from this run that the Chiefs are on. It's not normal.
Yeah,
it's just not normal.
I don't know if it's because of him. It got to be because of him, but like, it got a different kind of feeling than what the Patriots had at the beginning of their run. You feel me? Like, I don't know what it is, but like, it just got a different feeling, man. Like, you can feel this shit may be special for a few years to come.
Well, I also think because Andy, he runs it differently than than Coach Bill. Andy's more fun. The Chiefs are just more fun because they have personality.
Yeah.
Mahomes, they also just give a lot more responsibility to him. Obviously, you don't win the league MVP in your first year starting by accident. So
And all that, what you just said, makes it easier to like and love you, right? When you got that dictatorship, that that Patriot way, motherfuckers hated the Patriots for 20 years. Hated the
exactly.
Patriots. You tune in just to watch their ass lose, man. So that may very well be it, brother. You kind of crystallized it perfectly.
And then Andy Reid also,
Come on, Big Red.
he has a case. I don't know if he's there because when you really go through like the history of the game with coaches, if he's on the Mount Rushmore, but if he's not fourth, he's in the. I think he's definitely in the top 5 now. I
Yeah,
don't think
he's
there's.
definitely. I think he's set in top 5. He was already, me. He already was in my top 5. I think he may be top 3 now, man. Like right now, I got Bill, I got Walsh, and I got him, man. I got Bill, Walsh, and him.
Over Chuck Noll.
Chuck will probably be 4 or 5 right now. Cause you know why? I didn't watch all the Chuck stuff. I love Lombardi shit, bro. I was watching Lombardi's life story.
Named after him.
Huh? No,
That's
yeah,
really
exactly. But no,
named
I loved his commitment, man, to the run game. He was the master at the shit. And shout out Andy. They pulled it out the 1950s playbook last night, the Green Bay sweep, outside sweep or whatever. That was Lombardi's play. He was a master at it. So Andy's top 5 for sure. Yeah, like you said. But I think my 3. I would go in.
Much of an argument anymore. He's top 5.
And by the end of this run, like shit, people keep trying to push my guy out and keep asking him about retirement and whatever. He's 64. Fucking Bill is 72, right? Or 74. Bill's 70 in his 70s right now. He can push the. And he gets the 5.
Oh, yeah,
I think he's the GOAT.
I think
if he gets 4, he got an argument where you can just make art. But if he gets the 5, if he gets the 5, it's like he's the GOAT by himself.
Oh, actually,
or would it?
He'll definitely have an argument. I'm just gonna give, because Walsh, the offense that Andy runs, he invented it, and he won his 3 suit, and everybody tries to run it. I mean, Bill Belichick.
Everybody, you're right. Hold on, brother. You just said a key point to it, right? Everybody, a lot of other great head coaches have took that same scheme. Who has had the creativity and flair and fucking just week to week, in a week out impact like Andy has on that, though?
I definitely agree. The only reason why I'll still give some deference to Bill Walsh is because without him, that offense does not exist, obviously. And there's no opportunity from that perspective for Andy to expand on those principles. Because at the end of the day, the West Coast offense is probably the best offense that's ever been created.
Gotcha. Well,
also, last thing, honestly, so just knee-jerk reaction to some of these next year odds. If you had to just go off of today before free agency and draft, do you believe the Eagles will be back in the NFC Championship game next year? Forget Super Bowl. You do?
Yeah, for sure.
Because I do too.
Yeah, them and the Niners.
I believe it'll be a rematch next year. I do.
Yep. And shit. Hopefully the Niners got some better quarterback play. Hey man, let's close out with this. It's the last. Not gonna say it's the last podcast, people, but we're definitely about to revamp a little bit. I'm gonna probably even let brother say a little bit because I'm about to do a full revamp for the people and just give a new approach for the next season coming up. We're gonna do a lot more player props. Me and Keaton got pretty good at hitting on those this past season. So just different ways to incorporate different fun ways to engage you guys as listeners. And yeah, you got anything else on that, brother, before we end it off here as the 5 as they previously have known it to be?
No, because we're still going to work out some more of the particulars of that, but it's going to be a lot more things next year. And I'm looking forward to it because it's going to be a really fun project for us.
For sure. All right. Thank you, everybody, for listening. Hope you had a great football season. We're
Appreciate
206 days away from the next football season, I believe I seen. All right.
Appreciate it, Galen.
Yes.
We play for keeps, Cuddy. You ain't heard about the huddle fire with no with D-Lane. We tryna get it off the muscle. Walters caught the pick and ran it back without a tussle. Blow the whistle, coach is trying to get back to the huddle.
Welcome to the